moving from equalities to inequalities, you're basically solving for a set of numbers that works for both inequalities. So your bell work was graphing inequalities, just individual ones. And honestly, systems of inequalities is really just that simple. You are graphing two sets of inequalities, and where they cross over is your answer, all right? And so you just have to remember your rules of graphing inequalities. You have to remember, is it dashed? Is it solid? Do I graph above? Do I graph below it? And then, pay attention to your shading. Your answer is going to be a group of numbers. So you're not going to get 1 point on the graph as your answer. You are going to get a set of numbers. So you're going to represent your answer by a graph. So for this one, it says solve the system of inequalities, and they've given us 2 here. We have x minus 2y is less than 6, and we have y is less than or equal to -3/2 plus 5. So for this first one, we're actually going to put it in slope-intercept form. So we're going to move our x over and divide by -2. So we have y, because we're dividing by negative, it's going to be greater than. We have a -1 divided by a -2, so that's 1/2 x. And then we have the 6 divided by -2 also is -3, all right? So put it in slope-intercept form for this. It's the easiest way to graph it, and it won't get you confused on your shading. Make sure that if you have something like this, when you divide by that negative, that you flip it. Flip that sign there, which is why I did it. So now they're both in slope-intercept form, and I'm going to graph them individually. -3, start here, up 1 over 2. All right, is this dashed or dotted? Solid. Yeah, it's dashed, all right? And so we are going to dash that one, all right? And then how am I going to shade this one? Yeah, I'm going to shade everything above it. So it's going to be this part of the graph here. And then we're going to look at the second one. So for the second one, it's already in slope-intercept form. I'm going to start at +5. I'm going to go down 3 and over 2. Is this one solid or dashed? Yeah, this is solid. And then where am I going to shade this one? Yeah, it's everything below it. So in this case, below means this side of it, right? So that's everything below it. So my answer is where they cross over. Well, they cross over in this little wedge here. I'll actually do it a different color. They cross over in this wedge. This wedge is my answer. Any point in this shaded area will work for both of those inequalities. So you can test it. You can actually pick a point. Let's say -3, 0. And you could plug it into both of them and you would have a true statement, okay? And so your answer is that wedge or that group of numbers. I will say when I grade this, I look at 3 things. I look at the individual lines. Is your intercept and slope correct? And did you make it solid or dashed? And then I look at your shading. All right, so that's how I grade these. All right, systems of inequalities. We have y is less than 4. That is a linear inequality. But y is greater than or equal to absolute value. That is going to be the v, or the absolute value inequality. And so you're going to do exactly the same thing here that you would for the lines. You're just graphing one and the other at the same time. So remember, y equals a number. Is that horizontal or vertical? Horizontal. Yeah, that's horizontal. Is this going to be dashed or solid? Dashed. So I'm going to increase that just a little bit. Horizontal line there. All right. Less than. That's easy when it's a horizontal line, right? We're just going to shade below it. All right. So that's my shading for that one. All right, next one. Where does this V go? Right or left, up or down? Right 3. So I'm going to do right here. Right 3. And it is just your regular V. Is this going to be solid or dashed? Solid. It's going to be solid. And then above or below this guy? Above. Now, what you'll notice when I shade above this is it's inside the other one, okay? And so this is technically, the shading for this guy is technically everything up here, right? But my answer is where they overlap. So my answer is going to be this triangle right here.